Hello, beloved, and thank you for joining Antoinette Marie Speaks. On today's show, we're going to be speaking about the power of love. So journey with me and a few of my special guests as we walk you through the power of love. Welcome home, beloved.
Well, good evening. This is Antoinette Marie Speaks, and I am so glad that you have decided to join me on such a great and beautiful, fantastic evening. It is Friday, y'all. Come on up in the room on today. It is Friday, October 23rd, y'all. October 23rd, and you have entered into the room of Antoinette Marie Speaks. And so I'm so delighted that you have decided to take some time out and join in with me on our date night. This is our date night. Good evening. I always call you future RN 218. So I thank you so much for being here on tonight. So share this video. I'm so excited for our special guests that we have on today. Before I kind of get into that, I just want you to just drop a comment in and just say, Happy Friday. Just say Happy Friday. And you can also say the power of love. So let's go ahead and forward this to some individuals, just like I am going to do really quick. I know that you need a little bit of time to do so. And I'm going to do I'm going to use this hand so my face is not covered. I'm going to do the exact same thing, right? We're going to do the exact same thing. I hope that whatever you decided that you wanted to accomplish on today, that is happening. That it is happening, right? And so I also want to say thank you to each and every one of you that joined me on yesterday's Bridging the Nations episode and show. We had a fantastic time on yesterday. And so thank you again for being on tonight. All right. So one of the things that, as you know, I have been doing the Power of Love series. And I tell you, we have had some dynamic individuals that have come on in this series on Antoinette Marie Speaks. And I wanted to say to each and every one of you, if you miss any episode, please go back and check out the replay. We have had Aaron Booker. He was our first guest, single gentleman, had gone through marriage, and now he is in his own journey. And so one of the things I like about this particular series is that my goal was and is to reach everybody. And so we had Mr. Aaron Booker on, and then the next week we had Natalie and Ben Harris from Houston, Texas, a young couple that is just wonderful. They're doing fantastic, made a transition from one state to another pretty quickly, and they're doing exceptionally well. And then on last week, we had Angela Y. Irvin, which very interestingly, she also made a transition pretty pretty quickly, and entrepreneur doing really, really great things. And today, today we have Lee and Christina Gore. I am so excited to have them on tonight. They're it's interesting how life kind of takes you. You just never know why you interact or intercept with other humans that are on this earth. And so I'm very, very grateful. So let me tell you just a little bit about them. So they are typically known as the power couple. I love that. They live in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. So listen, if some of you can't get to Honolulu, Hawaii, maybe you'll see a little bit in the background tonight. How about that? We're going to give you a freebie. I'm going to give you a little bit of a freebie today, right? Because where I am, it's six, a little bit after 6 Central Time, and they are 1 o'clock there in the afternoon there. So we want to show them some deep love. They also have been happily and joyously married for 10 years and going extremely strong. And they also have a blended family together. They have 5 children, and they also have a 4-year-old grandson. And recently, Lee actually retired from the United States Army with 24 years of service. And Christina, his beautiful wife, is currently having just 2 more years to go before she can hit that retirement. Yay! That's good stuff. Lee is also currently the owner of and CEO of Small Kind. I may have to correct that. Media, which is a professional photography and video company. And he's also one of 2 founders and leaders of one of the largest hiking groups in Hawaii called Aloha Hiking, Explore, and more. So tonight, we're going to bring them in from the green room right now. Y'all ready? You got your pens? You got your paper? Let's go. Let's get them out the green room. Woo! Hello! Aloha. I love it. How are you this evening?
We are good.
Good. So I wanted to just say first, before we kind of get into it, I wanted to say just thank you so much for accepting the invitation. And I'm so delighted on what you both are doing, from one military spouse to another. I want to say thank you again for serving our country. And we can never say that enough. And so we wanted to just say that. Hey, Carlette, how are you? And so I'm going to be asking you some really, really great questions. But before we get into it, I want you to talk a little bit about your company, because I don't think I did it justice. Can you give yourself just maybe like a 30-second elevator speech about your companies?
Actually, you said it right. It is Aloha, or I'm sorry, it's the other one. It's Small Kind Media, and that's how you pronounce it.
Okay.
So Small Kind, basically, it's a saying that we here on the islands. Basically, exactly what it means. It means small kind. So like it's small, and it's like that's, and it's not too big, but the production, the video photography that I give you, it's so huge. So when people say Small Kind Media, but I give you a lot under our name.
Wow, wonderful. And I saw one of your videos. I've seen a couple of your videos, and they are done very professionally. And so I want to say great and awesome job. We already have somebody saying Simplify. No, that's Marines, so stop saying Simplify. But somebody wanted to greet you. That's all I can say. So let's do this. Let's get into it. And so one of the things, can you talk to us a little bit about, tell us your story. Tell us how you met.
Yeah. How did we meet, Tina?
Lee loves for me to tell the story. I don't know why.
Okay.
She tells it so good.
So, of course, Lee and I both being in the military, we met at a mutual place where we store our military vehicles. And actually, that's where Lee's office was at the time, right?
Mhm.
You had your office. And so Lee was in charge of his soldiers, and they just happened to be outside, as he calls, they were training. So they had somewhat assault guns that they were using for training purposes, of course.
Airsoft. There were
Airsoft.
airsoft weapons.
Okay.
We were getting ready to.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Huh?
I write it out.
What?
I said air assault, like airsoft, like
Yeah, airsoft weapons. We were getting ready for a training, so instead of just going through the motion, I wanted to kind of make it more realistic for them. So, if you got little airsoft pellets, hitting you, that's pretty.
It's kind of like BB guns,
Yeah.
similar. Yeah. So I was trying to actually work, I needed to I was looking for a particular person I was supposed to conduct a transaction with, and I couldn't find them. Now, mind you, this was 12 years ago, so it was around 2007-ish. So cell phones weren't like cell phones are now, and I needed an actual, like, as we call it, landline, like an actual telephone. And so I ran across him and kind of caught my attention because he's all outside and his guys are like everywhere. And I asked if he had a landline I could use because I needed to make a phone call. And he said no, he didn't have a phone. I asked if anyone else he knew had a phone, and this guy talking about, oh, you could just use my cell phone. And I'm like, no, I really prefer not to because it's a professional phone call. And so he's like, don't worry about it, use mine. And so
I get plenty minutes.
Yeah, his whole thing was like, I have plenty minutes, like already trying to kind of like boast and brag, and I'm just like,
that was pretty smooth. I have plenty minutes. That was pretty
minutes. Like I got minutes raining, you know what I mean? So I was just, that kind of like, okay, that's kind of odd, but I was like, okay, but no, thank you. And then he goes, no, I insist, this and that. And I'm just like, what is this guy is like kind of, pushy a little bit. So pretty much that was our like introduction. We met, I used his phone, and then I left because I couldn't find the person I needed to connect with. And then how many weeks later did you end up coming to where I worked at and end up?
Well, we had some soldiers that was actually flying in from deployment, and
no, it's before then when you came when I seen you in the formation. Well, anyways, he showed up in the morning time where we have formation, and he's in his we call it his physical fitness uniform, so no name, no rank. And so he recognized me, I didn't recognize him.
Okay.
And so he was like, hey, and I'm just like, hey, you. No idea. I'm trying to recollect, like, how do I know this person? I don't want to offend him. And then
sure.
So anyways, we kind of reconnected then, and then he brought that situation up, and I was like, there it is. That's how I know him. I was like, oh yeah. And so we kind of connected there. And then there was another time where we had to go, I needed to go to pick up some equipment, and he also needed to go. I didn't know that, but I went to where he worked at, and I asked if they could give me a map, because again, no, GPS in your car, on your phone, that's when we printed the maps and you had to follow the map.
Yeah.
And so I'm horrible with directions. So I just I needed someone to help me, give me a map, something. And so they knew he had a crush on me. I didn't know this. And so when I asked if someone could help me, they're like, oh yeah, Sergeant Gore, don't you have to go that direction? And then he was like, oh yeah, actually, I mean, he really did have to go, but
okay.
We went together in my car, and it was an amazing car ride. When I tell you, we connected like as if we were longtime friends reconnecting and catching up.
Hey, but let me point this out.
Okay.
It wasn't just any car. this is like our first time, like really going somewhere together.
Mm-hmm.
She let me drive her BMW.
Okay.
Like,
she had to know how you drive. That's why she let you drive.
I mean, so
and it was stick.
And it was a stick. So my I so the reason I wanted him to drive is because I didn't want to feel like stupid that I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know how to get there. And then if I was driving, I don't want to mess it up, So, and that's still true to this day. Lee always drives everywhere we go. But
Okay.
I said, do you mind, since we're going to the same place, do you mind if you drive? And he was like, oh yeah, sure, of course, with kind of cockiness a little bit. And then I said, okay, under one condition, can you drive a stick? So of course, he goes, I can drive anything. Like, almost like I offended him. So again, with the cocky attitude, I'm just like, okay, this guy is too much. So yes,
okay.
He could drive the stick, and then
that's pretty much how we connected.
Yeah, but it was the car ride in particular for me, because it was pretty much the baseline of our relationship and how we started, because the conversation, the back and forth, the similar interests. And then he was telling his story. I was recently divorced, and he was going through a separation. And he was kind of just, venting to me about the situation. Then I was venting to him about my situation. So in my mind, I'm like, all the good ones are always taken. Like, man, it was one of those conversations.
So speeding it up, so that took its course initially, and then she was getting ready to deploy. So for 2 years,
Lee stalked me.
You stalked her for 2 years?
He stalked me for 2 years. When I found out he was, still going through a separation, the last thing I wanted was a complicated relationship, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of, pushed him to the side, and Lee would make every excuse to come to my office.
Just say hi, how you doing?
And I wouldn't say I was mean to him. I was like,
she was mean.
I was very passive.
Yeah.
I would greet him, and then I would say, oh, hi, how's it going? And then, oh, such and such can help you. And then I would leave. So, of course, it's that challenge. It's a little bit of the chase.
Yeah.
So that went on for about 2 years.
Okay. So I think this is really good. This is really good conversation, because you talked about the chase and how you were, kind of smitten with him, but you respected, you were trying to stay in those boundaries. And so because of his situation, and I think that's very important, one of the things that we say here on Antoinette Marie Speaks is that, we want to be able to empower and to inspire people, but we also want to be able to help people and let people know, like, listen, you're not in this by yourself. Other people have gone through some of the same situations that you may be going through right now. And so that's that part of helping. So I just want, both of you guys to say, to just kind of like let the audience know, what's one thing that you, Lee, that you love about Christina? One thing, just one thing, and then Christina, you do the next.
It's so funny you said that, because she had asked me that before we even came. So one thing that I really like, or I love about Christina, is her patience.
Okay.
She has a lot of patience, and I sometimes don't know how she do it, but she's always calm and collective in almost every situation. That's one thing out of many that I really love about her. She's just very patient, and I really don't know how she does it. Like, it's just within her.
And how does that serve you? As you've been her husband, how does her being patient, how does that serve you? How does that help you?
It helps me, because sometimes I'm like always on the go, and it kind of helps me kind of sit back, take a step back a little bit, and just kind of analyze everything, because that's what she does. And she puts herself in each other's shoes. So and that really helps me kind of calm down a little bit, because I'm the one that's normally anxious. I'm ready to go, like, I'm yeah, I'm that type, and
Okay.
she's the other way. She's the opposite.
Okay. So Christina, what's one thing that you say that you really love about your husband?
So I really, and it's weird that I love this about him, and that I actually, these are the traits that I was attracted to, because what I'm attracted to, what I love about Lee now, in the beginning, was what I ran from, which is his like command presence, and him taking charge of the situation, where I know I never have to worry about us and about anything, because I know he will always step up and take care of us, as being, not only being my husband and the man of our house, but just in general, is this, I never have to worry about anything, because I know Lee's going to take care of everything.
Isn't that a great feeling?
Yeah, but in the beginning, that is why I did not like Lee at all. I did not. That was one thing. Like, I was like, this guy is just, he's too passionate, too aggressive, too like ready to just go. And I was just, like Lee said, I have a lot of patience, and I'm very like, I'm total opposite. So I love that about us, because our opposites are actually what balances us out. And I love that about us.
Isn't it interesting how sometimes we don't really know, and we can't see the future, but God can see what we cannot see.
Oh my God.
And He knew that that's exactly in your growth, in your journey. He knew that was going to be exactly what you needed, and not even just what you needed, what you desired, to have that security, to have that headship, and what I call the prophet, priest, and provider of your household. And so I think that's beautiful. Patience and being able to be that that provider overall, not just monetarily, but just overall. So I think that's wonderful. Okay, next question. When and where were you when you knew that she was the one, Lee? Where were you specifically? Now tell the tea now. Where were you when you knew, like, this is the woman I'm getting ready to marry? And where did you propose?
So where was I? I was in Virginia. She was deployed. She was in Afghanistan, right? Kuwait. So she was in Kuwait, and she was gone for like a year. And I just could not stop thinking about her. And as much as she tried to run away from me, every time she, got on the phone or sent me a text or an email, I was on it. Like, I was there. Like, I was anticipating, hoping that she'll send me. And then when I didn't hear from her, like, I would be worried. And so I knew that she was the one when we would talk a lot. When she needed, she needed my help back stateside while she was deployed, and I actually helped her, and it was dealing with the kids. Their family care plan kind of fell through of who was actually watching them. So
in the middle of my deployment.
Yeah, in the middle of her deployment, and no leadership was looking out for her. Nobody was wanting to help her. And I knew that I was like the only one like that could possibly help her, and she actually came to me. Like, she literally entrusted me to help her with this situation. And so that was a really big thing, a big turning point, I should say. And then
where'd you propose?
We proposed in our house.
Okay. How'd you do it?
It was simple, but it was in the kitchen.
Okay, it was in the kitchen.
With the kids, with the kids there. So
nice.
On Yeah, Valentine's Day.
Oh, wonderful. And you all have been married for 10 years, right?
10 years, but we knew each other for 12. Yeah.
Wonderful. You
Yeah. So two.
proposed in the kitchen with the babies there with you. I think that's wonderful because it's not just you two, it's an entire blended family now.
Yes.
Exactly.
I think that's wonderful. Okay, next question.
Oh,
It's
shoot.
funny because some people are texting me
Uh-huh.
to text you. Okay,
That's
so
good.
next next question. Um, what has made your marriage successful? You have the businesses. Your wife is still in active duty in the army. What has made your marriage successful? Two things that has made your life and your marriage successful.
I will say our foundation. Without
Definitely.
without faith, like none of this would be possible. Like without him and his guidance, none of this would be possible. So you got to have a really good, solid foundation.
Yeah.
And then we believe communication,
Okay.
communication, communication, communication. We preach this to other couples. We preach this to other folks. Like
Mm-hmm.
communication plays such a big part, whether it's bad, good,
Silent.
silent, sideways. Like without that, like it won't work. Period. And it can't be one-sided. It has to be a mutual, effective communication.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So tell us this: how somebody just said, "Wow, it seems like they have a perfect marriage." There must have been some hard, difficult times. So, question is, how do you handle the difficult times in your life as a power couple, as a couple that is, in love with one another? How do you handle the difficult times?
Let me answer this. So,
Sure.
so I'm gonna say this. Maybe the first year or so, it was challenging for me, and I would say it was challenging for her because I got a divorce,
Mm-hmm.
and huh?
You were both divorced.
She was divorced, but I was
Yeah.
going through a divorce, and I had a previous child with her, and that was kind of a struggle because I wasn't completely over that.
Okay.
However, she had helped me go through it
Mm-hmm.
through the grace of God. She helped me go through it to kind of ease my mind and to let me know how women thinks, what women do, things like that, to kind of give me a little vision of what I'm about to go through.
Okay.
So she helped me go through that, and there were there's a time period in the beginning where if I didn't completely let that past go, we
Mm-hmm.
couldn't move forward.
that
Right.
was that was a pivotal point in our before we decided to get married.
Yeah.
There that was, you have to either, almost like it was, how do you say, like a crossroads for us. Either you're going to continue to think this way and put that on me, because again, when you're not completely healed,
Yeah.
you should never go into another relationship, and you shouldn't complicate things for the children and for yourself, because that's never gonna, it's just gonna be a temporary fix. It's not going to be a long-term solution. So together, we we had to come up with a solution that was going to work for everybody. Lee and I's relationship has never just been about us. It's always been about the unity of the family, and how are we going to make sure that everyone is a part of this decision making. So when he went through those challenges, and then I kind of gave him an ultimatum, I said, either you're going to continue to punish me for someone else's, for those burdens that you're carrying from that someone else, has put on you, or you're going to allow us to be us. So he had to um, come to terms with, am I ready, and can I do that, and then let my past be that, and let the future be us. So it was really challenging for Lee, but again, that's where that communication really came into play for us. And like Lee said, our foundation, because I was deployed, it allowed us to kind of go old school, where, you know, it wasn't about the intimacy and the physical portion. It was like old school. And I tell you, this man wrote me poetry. Like, when I opened my inbox every day at work on my email, he was knocking them out left and right. I was trying to keep up. But I feel like Lee kind of cheated a little bit, because he wrote music before, so he kind of had a knack for, you know, words and how to put them. But I was completely just like blown away with this man, because, like, again, he truly showed me who he was through his words and through his, you know, he was genuine. I could see that he wasn't just trying to be with me on a physical level. He really wanted to get to know who I was. And that, I think, because we had that strong foundation, that ever since then, any challenges that have come along, we've always been able to come back to that baseline as to, okay, what connected us and what's going to continue to keep moving forward. So yeah, we have challenges, but I believe that we're always able to talk through them instead of talking at them.
But to add on that, Antoinette, I think that in that year we've grown, and like you said, a lot of times folks develop a relationship around the physical aspect. We built our relationship from a distance, and we've, like, when I say we talk like every single day, almost.
We got no sleep.
Like almost for like the last
no sleep. I don't think we slept for like
6-7 months. Yeah, we talk every single day for hours, and that's how we got to know each other. And then when she came back, oh my goodness,
baby,
it was so good. Like, and we look back, because today we've been married for 10 years, and I'm gonna tell you, really, truthfully, and I said this in the beginning, I said the only thing I believe that we're gonna mainly argue about is the raising of the kids, because we come from two different aspects of how to raise kids. Everything else,
So I think we got a little bit of a disconnect, and, you know, we know that happens from time to time. So one of the things that I loved, I'm just going to talk it through as they come back on. One of the things that I love about what they said is that, you know, they waited. I mean, it's something about really saying, I'm not trying to jump into a marriage right away. Healing is very important. I like what you said, Craig, about can't bring past hurts into a new relationship. You must allow yourself time to heal. And that is so, so important, because if not, then what happens is that you bring a lot of that past hurt. You bring a lot of that, perhaps even dissension. You start to compare one relationship with another relationship. And we know that is not the best for any brand new relationship, right? And so I think that's really, really great. And you can tell, hopefully I'll get them back, but we'll see. But you can really tell they really have a very particular bond with one another. And I think that really kind of comes from them allowing for him to, now y'all heard what they said, right? So she was divorced and he was separated, and he was, you know, getting a divorce, right? And so one of the things I always like to say is that every situation, every relationship is not perfect. It's not going to be perfect. If there are individual relationships that are really fantastically perfect, I just don't know of any of them at all. But I love the fact that because she was deployed, there's some things that he had an opportunity to work out. And I think that's absolutely great. I think that's them. Let me see if I can get them back on. There you go.
Man, I don't know what happened. Like
It's okay.
overheating of the phone.
It could be. It's Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So one of the things I
Okay.
was just saying, just about your relationship, I love what you said about, having and giving one another that time. And I think whenever Christina was deployed, it kind of gave you some time to be like, okay, I need to kind of, heal, go through this healing process as well. I love the fact of, it seems as though, now I could be very wrong. It seems as though, Lee, that you actually kind of studied her, because Christina comes off really kind of, okay, like, I'm not here for the drama. Let's just live life and, love one another, take care of these children, be great parents. I'm not here for the drama. You, Lee, though I love you both, you, Lee, are like, listen, if it's gonna be some drama, I'm gonna handle it. I'm gonna take care of it. Whatever the situation is, I will handle it. Don't worry, babe. I got you. Don't worry about it. Am I off a little bit or am I on?
No, you're pretty spot on. No, and I like challenges. So it was a challenge for me.
I love that,
because a lot of folks were saying some crazy things about her, and like, I guess they just didn't believe that we could end up together. And in 10 years,
there were some haters.
There were some haters in the beginning, yes, of course. I mean, to the point we're getting emails, we're getting people acting like other people, trying to infiltrate or what we have together. Like, it was really serious. So, so I guess, that right there was a test. And
yeah.
To see how much we can endure.
Yeah.
And, again, I like challenges, so.
I know you like challenges because I saw that video where you were surfing, and when I saw it, I'm like, I've never seen anybody surf like that with a half of a baseball cap on, turned upside down. I was like, wow, this is an adventurous man. This is an adventurous man. Okay, so we got a couple of other questions, and then we're gonna go to what I call my lightning round. Just questions, and then you just have to answer them point right on. But it's called lightning round. So let's do the lightning round first. Let's do the lightning round first, and then I'm going to ask you. I'm going to prefix this question. So kind of be thinking about this answer. If you could speak to couples that are in your exact situation so they have one individual may be divorced, another couple may be going through a divorce, but you kind of liking one another, how and what would you say to those individuals? Let's do that. What would you say to individual couples that were in the same situation that you were prior to you getting married?
I definitely would say, so if they're at that pivotal point in their relationship in regards to, they're not really, they know that they don't want to be in the relationship or the marriage anymore, I would challenge them to ask, which like Lee said, we have a lot of couples who come to us for help. And my challenge to them is to always say, have you done everything possible that you can to make this work? Because the last thing you want to do is have regrets to say, if I would have just done this last thing, if I would have at least tried to do this, to resolve this, to fix this. And if you absolutely have done everything in your power to fix that relationship, and it's just not, it's in the best interest for both of you to separate and go your own ways. And if there is another person that you believe is the right one for you and you want to venture out that route, I would challenge them to do exactly as Lee and I did. Get to know them first and heal those wounds from within before you complicate that next relationship and you bring in that old baggage into a new relationship, and then you end up kind of doing the same thing or really not from your past, which is what I love about us, is we made a pact, and we said,
Okay.
we will not bring our old, like, whatever happened that we disagreed with, why it didn't work, whatever it is, let's put it on the table and let's make a pact that we will not do those same things to each other, what was done from what we happened to us in the past. And I truly believe that because we are in our second marriage, we learned so much, good, bad, and different, from our first marriage, which is another reason why I believe our marriage today is so strong, because we learned what not to do and what not into this new relationship, so that we can build this strong relationship that we have today.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love that. Lee, you got something before we go to the lightning round?
Oh, that same.
What
Same
she
as
said.
that. We share. We can finish each other's sentences. That's how connected we are. And that's one of the things I also love about this woman is we're so in tune. And when you're in tune with the person that you are in love with, like, you can go so far.
And I can really tell, one of the things, you guys have, you have a fantastic vibration towards one another. Everybody has their own situation. Everybody goes through things, but I think the part of growth in a marriage is first of all, knowing yourself and who you are as an individual, right? And then also knowing the reason why you have decided to give of yourself to another human being. A lot of times we hear, and then everybody knows this is my second marriage as well. A lot of times we'll hear a lot of people speak so negatively about their past spouse, or they say these things. But this is one of the things that my husband and I say, and it's not always easy. If I had not gone through what I had gone through, I would not perhaps be where I currently am.
Bam, you said it to the
Come on up in this room. This is Antoinette Speaks. We're coming for real tonight, y'all.
Yes.
And I think when we start to really analyze that juncture, and we start to really analyze that, then we're not we don't have to be so angry, because that's the process of growth. That was the journey that had to come about in order for you to be where you currently are. You wouldn't have that type of love for Christina if you had not gone through what you had gone through. Christina would not have this type of compassion. I mean, when I see her, she looks at you like she wants to eat your face, literally. Like, I just want to kiss you. And so I love that. I love the fact that she's patient and that she's kind, and she looks very understanding. When I look at her, she definitely reminds me of, when I see Christina, I definitely see a leader, but I see like what I call a servant leader, right? I see that kinship. I see someone that is a mender. She's not even into the drama, but if she has to get down, she gonna get down. And
that's so true.
All right, so here we're gonna get ready to do our lightning round. One word answers, and I want to let my audience know I did not give them the questions on the lightning round. So whatever comes out of your mouth is what it is.
I'm kind of nervous on this one.
Okay. All right. So first question.
Any of us can answer, right?
No, these are individuals.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And ladies go first. Ladies go first. Okay. It's not that hard. It's not difficult. What is your favorite color?
My favorite color? I don't know. I'll just say white.
White? What's your favorite
color?
Her
favorite color or my favorite color?
No, her favorite color. She's answering for herself.
Yeah, I don't really have a favorite, but I just like white, I guess.
Okay, white. Lee?
Black.
Okay. What's your favorite vacation spot?
Favorite vacation spot?
Yeah. Location, spot, area.
I mean, where we're at, Hawaii. Honestly, any vacation, just with Lee, anywhere. It doesn't matter.
Oh, that's so cute.
Hey, that's brownie points
No,
right
I'm just saying, just being away, just being with him, it doesn't matter where it's at.
Okay, next question. This is for Christina only. No. This is for Lee, for you to answer this question, and it's about Christina, right?
Okay.
Question. What is your wife's favorite flower?
Ooh.
Don't look at her.
I would say plumeria.
Plumeria.
Yes, it's a
Hawaii.
it's a Hawaiian flower, and it smells
Oh my
so good.
He's right. That flower is like Hawaii's perfume.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Wonderful.
it just illuminates the area and just brings happy scents.
They grow on a lot of trees around here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Christina, what is Lee's favorite dish?
His favorite dish? Anything with meat.
No, come on, be specific.
Specific?
I love to make it.
Shrimp?
Oh, wow.
Lee is really good cook. So
Chili.
that's your favorite thing?
Yeah.
Don't listen. You got to go home with him. You didn't come up here to start nothing.
We're always growing and learning, right?
That is absolutely right. I think that is wonderful. I think that's wonderful. Okay, next question.
Really?
If you had the capability to have either your son or your daughter to learn two things, each one of you give me one, from you as their mom and their dad, about relationships, about the power of love, what would you say to your own children about the power of love?
Find someone that balances you.
Okay.
That's what I would tell them. Find someone that balances you, because with that balance, you will find your own rhythm together.
Lee?
I would say, you got to make sure that you're able to communicate with that person, and that person is effectively communicating with you. Again, I go back to the communication piece. A lot of things can be solved through simple, effective communication, and that's either by verbal, physical, all the realms of communication. So if it's one-sided, guess what? It is not going to work. Yeah. It takes two. It takes two, and so that's what I would give them.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Who manages your money?
Lee. It should be me, but Lee is control freak, so it's him.
Okay, next question. If you had a love language, what would it be?
The 5 love languages.
Out of the 5, what's your love language? What's your number 1 and then number 2? How about that?
I mean, what are all the 5? It's
so you have like touch, affection, quality time, gifts, and words of affection. So
I don't know. So I think touch.
Yeah.
Touch is important for you.
For you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're always touching me.
I mean, yeah, but I think
words.
I would say words.
Words.
So yours is touch and hers is words. Okay. So last question on this lightning round. So being that your love language, Lee, is touch, right? This is a PG program, even though it's Friday and 6 o'clock. Where is the favorite place that you?
Go ahead.
I know.
Where's the favorite place that you like to be touched? That you like Christina to touch you.
My head.
Yeah, I was gonna say his head.
Like she always does this, and oh, it just feels so good.
Yeah, he likes his head
I like
being touched.
my head being rubbed.
Rub.
Or when I take my nails and I do like that. Favorite is
I
when
love
he's
it.
driving, when he's driving and just randomly from out of nowhere, I'll just touch his head, and that's just like I don't have to say anything, and then he'll reach and he'll touch my hand with his other
That's
hand.
love right there.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, being that Christina's number one love language is our words, actually, say one thing in one sentence right now, Lee, to your lovely wife that you know would just make her feel so fantastic this evening.
Feels so fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
No pressure.
She's right there.
Just
Mhm.
Usually I like to say, can I grab your booty?
Please don't. No, he doesn't. He
No,
does
no.
not say
I
that.
always say I love you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great. I like the
But
first
she,
answer because I think the first answer was probably a little bit more true. But
but but she also like touch because I always kiss her behind her neck,
Oh
and
my
she
God.
loves it.
Yes.
So
really,
True.
like she'll be washing dishes or whatever, I'll come behind her and I'll hug her, and then I'll like, so I'll kiss her right here behind the neck, and then she
Oh,
gets
goosebumps
the
automatically.
goosies.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that is true.
listen, what you guys decide to do after this interview, that is your business. That is definitely your business. So one of the things I wanted to say, and I'm going to just take some. I have people on my in another Facebook group that I have. So one of the questions somebody asked is, and I'm going to just have this be the last question, is what do I do in a situation where I know I love someone, however, we have been friends for over 20 years. I'm single, she's single, but I don't know how to tell her.
Do I would ask, I guess, like, do they talk at all? Like, are they friends? They communicate on a regular basis?
It seems like they do. Yeah. Like they're friends, but he wants to take it to the next level. He doesn't know if she wants to take it to the next level.
Um,
I would say I would say this. I know they've been friends for like 20 years. That's a long time. And,
Yeah.
and sometimes when you take that step, it could be kind of going over, and you don't want to risk losing that friendship, right? So
Mhm.
in the friend zone, or
right. So I would say this again, going back to communication. Like if you feel some type of way for another person, whether however long you've been friends, and you really don't know where it could lead to, the best thing to do is, again, it goes back to communication and just be the utmost truthful in how you feel to someone, because that's the best. I mean, that's the best way. Either they're going to be able to accept it or not accept it, but at least you communicated how you really truly feel. And if everybody, I ain't gonna say everybody, but if folks can really truly communicate how they feel toward one another and be honest,
Mm-hmm.
I think this world would be a little bit different, the way how some relationships go. But you got to be able to communicate that. You got to be able to talk. Showing could be misconstrued. You got to be able to communicate that piece to that next person.
Okay.
kind of tricky though.
It is tricky.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
again, going back to you're never going to know what you're going to know unless you try it.
Yeah. And I was going to say the exact same thing because a lot of time, and we got another question, somebody saying, please, please, please. So I'll ask of you. But I think that if you really believe that you want to be with someone,
Yeah,
leap out, jump out of the boat, and just communicate, say what you feel.
Yep. Step outside that comfort
You
zone.
got to step outside the comfort zone, beloved, and say, listen, I don't know how this is going to go, but I have to be able to express to you how I feel about you. And if they don't reciprocate it, then you have lost absolutely nothing.
Right.
But I think that it's important because a lot of times we live through the what ifs. What if I would have? Maybe if I would have, this question this person is asking me, they're saying, how should I'll read it verbatim. My husband cannot have intercourse. However, I want to show him how much I love him through intimacy. How do I do that? Being that you guys seem to have experienced this through deployment. How do I show? I think they're asking, how do I show intimacy to someone, but they can't actually have intercourse?
Yeah, I love that question.
That's a good one.
And you know what? Like I tell people, Lee makes love to me every day, or well, we make love to each other every day, and it has nothing to do with the physical form of making love, because there's so many ways that you can show each other how much you guys mean to each other. Like Lee will randomly just send me texts that, it's something as simple as I'm thinking about you, or just out of the blue type of things, knowing what each other likes and dislikes are. But on the other spectrum for a man, like, because I know what it looks like for Lee, because he's always, the things he does every single day to just take care of us and our family, like the cooking and the cleaning, and I don't have to ask, and it's just done. Like,
good job, Lee.
You know what I mean?
Excellent.
Like,
So,
this guy.
So for going back to that,
what would it be for you as receiving as a man, though? Like, what can I do?
It's simple as the just the touching. If you can't do intercourse, I mean, touching. If he likes to be held, the massages, the feet, the back, the hands, the head. Like, I'm telling you, to a guy, that's like heaven, right? So, we love to be touched, but not so much, if we can't, have sex, but all those massages is like perfect to stimulate, to get things going, you know what I mean? So, massage is perfect. And then if you can't do it in physical and you have to do it from a distance, I mean, just, now we have FaceTime, we have all these different video feeds. I mean, just, just that one-on-one, I don't know, I'm gonna say, strip teases, things like that, the two can share,
right.
And that's gonna go far,
right.
And we didn't do the strip tease, but like I said, we did it from a distance, and man, just writing poetry, singing love letters, those things work. We got to go back to the basics.
So she has a follow-up question. She says, my husband does not like to be touched because he suffers post-traumatic stress disorder. So what does she do then? Yeah,
that's a good question.
Talking, just communicating. People who suffer from PTSD, a lot of times there's underlying trauma that sometimes they just need to walk. You got to walk them through it and talk them through it. And just being there and just listening, and just really just, sometimes I know as females, we tend to talk more than we listen. And so I think sometimes by just opening up that communication and just saying this is a safe place and a safe area for you to just talk, no matter what it is, and then finding those similar interests that he likes, and just really tuning into those and connecting with him on that level, I think also means a lot to you guys too. Sometimes we think that they're not as intimate on those portions as we are as women, but they like that attention just as much as we do, and everybody of course wants to be heard all the time. Man or women, it doesn't matter. And so I think just really taking taking things slow and just allowing him to kind of lead that conversation, and then just sitting back and just really appreciating that he's willing to share, if he's willing to share.
Wow, thank you for that. I think that's important. She just gave you guys a lot of claps, and she said that she was waiting on this interview all week. So she wanted to ask that question because she knew you all were a military family. And so I'll just go through a couple of the things that are what people are saying. So Prince Michael, he said, Lee, I'm still in that move. LOL.
Still in that way.
That move about you saying that you kiss her in the back of her neck.
Yeah.
He said he's still in that from you.
Oh, really? I got it.
Craig Wilson said communication is the key to a successful relationship.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Somebody else said, and it's Vaniqua. She says she loves you guys as a couple, beautiful couple with a sweet story. There's a couple of other people that are saying some things as well. And one of the things I think that when we talk about the power of love, it's so profound because love, it doesn't compete. True love doesn't compete. And it would be easy for you because of you both have been in the military and Christina is still in the military. So sometimes y'all people that have been in the military, they got that competitive spirit anyway, just because training, it just has to be, what it has to be. But that's one of the things I always say is that, the power of love, it causes you to want to compete. It is long suffering. It is patient. And it also is coming to the relationship whole. One of the things I said to my husband when he proposed to me, and I said, I want to let you know I'm already whole. So I never wanted him to feel as though like, oh, wow, that Tom Cruise saying, you complete me. No, I don't want to complete you. Only God can complete you. And so I wanted to make sure that from my own past experience that I didn't want to play the mother role. I am your wife. I'm your helpmeet. I'm here and I'm your partner. And so if there are situations where I always say to individuals, if you come for my husband, you coming for me. And you won't really see Antoinette Marie this nice. Oh, I'm nice, but we're gonna have to handle that business. And so I think that that's one of the most beautiful things about a real true relationship is that you are a partner. When he's not feeling his 100%, that affects me. That should affect you. And I think that also it's important for couples to get together, to have conversations with other married couples. That's very, very important. And I said to one of my mentees, she's greatly impressed with her being now engaged. And she said she's going to go and get counseling. And I said, well, who's doing your counseling? And she said, oh, this guy that I know, and so on and so forth. I said, well, is he married? She's like, no. I said, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Like how can a single person counsel a married couple when you don't know the first thing that you haven't even experienced what marriage life looks like? What does it mean? What am I going to go through? And in particular, you're bringing in children and you don't have not one seed, not zero. Yeah. That's the problem. And so I think it's important. That's one of the reasons why I wanted you two to come on, because it's important for individuals to see other strong married couples that are, doing a thing and love one another, compassionate and patient towards one another, but also can enjoy themselves. I think sometimes here in these Americas, we're just so uptight. We are just so uptight. Like we don't just want to keep it real. We just like, and particularly if we are people of what we consider people of faith, we just like, we have kids and then we act like we never had sex. Come on now, stop it. You have to do something. These kids just didn't come up out the sky and just fairy dust and Jesus just brought them down. And so I think that this is a really great conversation. I think it's a really great opportunity as well. And I want to thank you for being a part of this the Power of Love series on this evening. And this was not even, it was easy, wasn't it?
Man, it was fun. We would love to be a guest on your show anytime.
Yes.
Thank you. Now I'm gonna take you guys up on that because I got something that I'm working on, and particularly for building successful relationships. And I'm gonna have a little bit of a retreat that I am thinking about. I'm planning it out for 2021 and really focusing on married couples and as well as single couples or unwed couples. At the same time. So I see you guys got out of the car and you finna show
Yeah.
out. Go ahead.
We're gonna show you guys a little bit before we get off of here, right? A little treat. So
okay.
The sky kind of it cleared up a little bit. So we're gonna take you down by the waterfront real quick and kind of show everybody the scene.
Yeah. So one of the things for the people that just came on. So today my guests are Lee and Christina Gore, and they live in Honolulu, Hawaii. And so they are now going to take us on a little trip, guided tour of the water area there. And so we are very excited.
So I don't think I can turn it. I don't think I can turn this around. So I'm going to flip it around and show you the water. So we got the palm trees. Can you see that?
Yep. Nice.
Warm day today. It's about 80 degrees out here.
Okay. So tell me this. So if someone wanted okay, so somebody just asked a question. They said if somebody wanted to move to Hawaii, what do you think would be the first thing that they would need to do if they're reconsidering?
Yeah. Okay. So they need to do some research first. I'm gonna tell you the happy medium to be somewhat okay out here in Hawaii. You got to be making at least 80 to 90,000 plus a year. And that's just in the medium. So if you're making over 100,000 a year, you can do it here.
Okay. So the cost of living is a little bit more than the average place in the United States, coastwise, mainland.
Very, very, very expensive. We got a pretty big family, so we're needing at least 3,000 square foot home, and so out here, we don't want to spend $1 million, and it's almost up there, like $900 to $1 million for that much. So we're actually going to be moving next year. We're going to be moving to Colorado Springs.
Oh wow! Congratulations!
Thank you. So I'll be heading out there first to get everything situated, and then she'll join me with the rest of the family. And I have my mom, my brother lives out there. So, but we're looking at Colorado Springs and making that our forever home area.
I mean, we'll probably come back eventually to Hawaii.
It was just me and her. Yeah, we could do it out here all day long, but we really, again, we want to build or buy a home that we know that our money is going to go far.
And all the kids can be there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Unfortunately, everyone can't fly out here to Hawaii, so it's always family first with us. So that's the most important, making sure that we're close to our family.
Wonderful. Well, we applaud you for that. Making family first. That is absolutely important. So we're going to let you guys get to it. I don't know if you're getting ready to go to lunch or early.
Yeah, lunch.
Absolutely. So I want to say thank you. I'm going to take a quick, hold on. I want that picture right there. I'm going to take a quick little picture and I'm going to send this. Got it. Thank you for being
Thank
on
you.
Antoinette Marie Speaks.
Guys, everybody, mahalo. We appreciate you guys and we love you guys.
All righty. I'll see you later. All right. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? I love to, first of all, I love what I do. I love being a host. I love interviewing individuals. And every single person that I interview, I learn something. I learn something. And sometimes we will be in something and we kind of get out too quick. And so that nugget that they just gave us about they were going to be relocating it, and it sounds like we're like, what? Like I should have said that was a lean in moment, y'all. That they're going to be relocating and just really speaking about, the economic base there in Hawaii. So I really truly hope that you all got something out of Lee and Christina Gore's story. I think they're a beautiful and fantastic couple. One of the things I wanted to say is that no matter if you are right now, you may be struggling in your relationship, you may be doing very well in your relationship, but one of the things I can honestly say is you have to have support, and you got to make sure that you surround yourself with good friends, right? It's important that you surround yourself with good friends. Iron sharpens iron, as I said on yesterday. And your inner circle does not and should not be so large. And so I wanted to say that. I also wanted to give you an update. So next week is my last The Power of Love series episode. I have been doing this every single Friday in the month of October. And so next week, I'm so excited as well. I love all of my guests that come on Antoinette Marie Speaks, but we're going to have a couple. And so I'm announcing it today so that you can prepare yourself and get your date night together, or if it's just you. But we're going to have a couple on that has been married for almost 50 years. Yes, 50. They've actually been married 46 years. Yes, to the same person. And that is going to be the greatness of the power of love. That's our last episode, and that's going to be the great finale. And those particular individuals are coming out of Texas, out of Austin, Texas, and I will be interviewing them. And I think that they will be able to give us some fantastic nuggets on how to sustain your marriage. How did they sustain their marriage? And as I hear my husband, so y'all already know it's time for me to go. And so join me on next week, Friday, as we continue and have our finale on the power of love. And also, as I always say, if you have a husband or a wife, love on them. Let them know that they are important to you. And love is an action. Love is not just what you say. You got to do something when it comes to love. And also, if you have children, your own children, love on them. Let them know that they are important to your life's trajectory. And let them know that you love them. Give them a really, really strong hug. If you have to do it virtually, then do that as well. As again, also, if you can, have at least one phone call throughout the week where you're actually hearing your children's voices. That's very, very important. This is Antoinette Marie Speaks, and I hope that you have a fantastic, fantastic Friday. Now go get you a fish fry, go get you some popcorn, go watch a movie at home, Netflix and something. They say, I don't know, whatever that means, but do it with the person that you love. I love you. God loves you, and I will talk to you next week. Take care, beloved, and welcome home.
In this moment, I am weakened by your love. Oh, in this moment, I am weakened by your love. ocean.